Hi, I'm Shelley Taylor, and this is my first speech that I'm going to talk about a trip I took. First, I'd like to introduce my audience. Over here is Sarah. There's Allie, Javier, Michael, and Ariana. Due to the weather tonight, I couldn't get 5 adults present, so this was as good as I could do. What I'm going to talk about tonight is about a trip I took to Costa Rica in August of 2001. I have some visual aids I'm going to hand out as we go. During my trip to Costa Rica, I visited the capital. I landed on a rural airport. I saw salamanders, went four-wheeling in the jungle, and then went snorkeling on the ocean as well. This was my first trip to a third world country. It was my favorite trip, mainly because it was a culture shock. I visited the capital, the rural area, and seen animals we normally don't see. First, let me tell you about the capital of Costa Rica called San Juan. The driving was absolutely crazy. On the interstates, the Coda buses would slam on their brakes and pick up passengers waiting on the side of the road. Also on the interstate, people stood in the middle lanes and held up fruit and tried to wave you down to buy fruit in the middle of the interstate. And in the city, the cars were so close together that you could reach out and touch a car, and if you were moving too slow, the cars would pull up on the sidewalks and drive down the sidewalks. Driving was very crazy. And I'm going to pass around a visual aid of the capital and then the city streets of Costa Rica. And I have everything labeled. Although the city was a culture shock, it got even better. From the city, we had to fly on a 4-seater airplane to a rural area for the remainder of our stay on our resort. The runway of the airport was a cow pasture. And the airport consisted of a bench with a metal roof over it. We were then transported from this so-called airport to our resort, where we started to see some unusual animals. At the pool, we seen salamanders. They range in size from 1 feet to 2 feet. They came from the bushes and the drains, and they would come out and steal your food as you were sitting at the pool. And we've got pictures of the salamanders at the pool. We then took a 4-wheeler tour through the jungle with a guide. We stopped to see howler monkeys in the jungle. We would stop our 4-wheelers and we would rev our engines up, and the monkeys would be above us howling at us. Must have been 30 to 40. And I have a picture of us 4-wheeling, our tour guide. To finish our guiding tour, we then 4-wheeled through the jungle to the ocean where we snorkeled. In the ocean, our tour guide would pull fish out of small little caves. He would hold the fish and pass it around, and they'd come up out of the water, and he'd talk about what kind of fish they were. And I have some visuals as far as the howler monkeys in the trees and the fish. In conclusion, my trip to Costa Rica was absolutely wonderful. I visited the capital of Costa Rica, San Juan, experienced the rural areas and the poverty, got to see animals we normally don't see, and I must say it was the best trip ever. And at the end of our tour guide, we got to get a videotape of us 4-wheeling and snorkeling. Our tour guide wore a camera on his head, so videotaped us the whole time as a memory of our trip. And that is it, my trip to Costa Rica in August 2001. Thank you very much.